What's going on, everybody? Welcome to GmiasWorld, and what we're going to be doing today is displaying some of the things that are wrong with Madden 18 gameplay, and I'm going to be sending this to the EA Sports developers. Whether they want to watch the video or not, I have no control over that, but I'm going to urge them to, take a look into some of the viewers of my channel that really are critical about the game, and try to get a balance about why we're critical of the game. Because as you guys know, I've been playing Madden for a very, very long time. I do believe that it is one of the best franchises ever in any type of video game scenario. Probably comparable to a lot of the real greats that we have from other consoles. So I want to do my part as far as positivity to try to show some of the things that's been going on since Madden 16 after the first patch. Okay, so we're gonna look at some things that are gonna go on throughout this game and pretty much detail it. And I want you guys to leave more, more positive comments about, like right here. You see when I go for that and the ball goes through his arm and stuff like that. That's been going on for a while. But we're going to detail a lot more things, a lot more that goes on within a daily head-to-head game. This just happens to be weekend league, but whether you play head-to-head, MUT drafts, whatever it is, some of the things that go on within the game. Not having the ability to utilize your proper, speed points because you can't. Okay, and thing like before I continue to go on with that, you saw just what happened there. Those animations where your arm stretches out, where you're like underneath the play and you're trying to intercept the ball. A lot of unnecessary animations that have really, in my opinion, took away from the user experience. And I wanted to touch on that as far as competitive mode goes, because the reasoning behind why a lot of people, including myself, don't really believe that these competitive players are, such high tier is because of things like that go on within the game that make it not all about a user type of play. Catches like that in competitive mode, those are going to happen sometimes. So that's not really my concern. They have toned that down since Madden 16 going into 17. But as far as the competitive mode goes, what happens is a lot of the newer competitors that are involved with Madden, and I'm guessing that this was the kind of design that EA Sports determined when they lowered the age group. They are used to getting away with certain things that you're not supposed to typically get away with if it is a competitive aspect of the game. Now, the arcade mode is very, very interesting because that could be a separate, that right there, when you get bumped and then your guy gets out of position, that's fine. That's something that we're going to have to address in another video. But the arcade mode is something that's ideal, and I'm going to tell you why. The arcade mode is basically something that was added into the game to make it more fun for more of the, the new people. Okay, now look, that's Talib, and that's a tier 4 Demaryius Thomas. The difference between them is 3 speed points. They both have the same acceleration at 91. I think it's a tier 4 Talib also, or a high tier Talib, because I'm going to check his speed later, and it's going to be at 87. Either way, on the play action, that was one of the things I wanted to address to the developers, if you guys are, willing to watch the video. The speed threshold doesn't matter in this game. Only on post routes and stuff like that. And even with that, if somebody is trailing, they still somehow is able to make a play. Competitive mode with Madden 18, upon release, was a lot better than it is right now. And I think that a lot of the things that are going on within the game have to do with the patches. And I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of what the patches have done to the game over the last 3 years. It's made the game, it hasn't done anything to make the gameplay better. And what I mean by that is overall, there's going to always be bugs within games, but it's been a tendency ever since the first Madden 16 patch to take away some of the things that actually work and make things that weren't working even worse, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm going to continue to elaborate on it because that's what I'm continuously being told, that we don't point out certain things that are wrong with it. So what I'm expecting is for at least one developer to respond to this video and to say, okay, we can see some of the things that you're talking about, and I'm not, like I said right there, okay, that's a timing block kick. Some of you guys may agree with the block kick, some of you guys don't, but it's something that actually happens. The mechanics around it with the timing could use some tweaking, but for the most part, we see block kicks on a regular basis, so it's very, very hard. It's very, very hard for me to argue it. I've seen competitive players say, oh, if it's a perfect kick, it shouldn't be blocked. See, stuff like that in competitive mode doesn't make sense. Those things don't make sense to me. because it doesn't matter if it's a perfect kick, because the special teams on the other side, like, okay, that's a user sack where a guy can just instantly block shed. We'll get to that in another video as far as user rushing. But the things that don't really make sense to me about some of the things that are suggested by these competitive players is that the mode is competitive. So it doesn't matter what you do on offense. Football is a game of chess. It's about, you know what I'm saying? So if the whole aspect right there, Talib is still right there again. You can't leave him, even though it's a 3-point speed differential. It doesn't really matter what you're doing on offense. If the defense is able to time it or find a way to get off and get a block, that's just something that happens. So that, you know, as far as perfect kicks and stuff like that, that shouldn't be something that happens in competitive mode, in my opinion. Because if the other person times it, it should be able to get blocked. You should have other things that you could do to, you know, kind of counteract it. Maybe make your guys on the outside a little bit more aggressive. Maybe have secure, you know, special team players that actually have better attributes for that specific reason, just to be able to pick up an edge, you know, an edge rusher off the side that's coming in to block the kick. Those are different scenarios that you could probably go through to figure out ways to make it better. But overall, that's another issue that I'm having, is that if you're going to make the game competitive, it doesn't mean that the guys that are actively the competitors are the most knowledgeable about what's going on within the game, because they're going to gear it towards themselves. With that right there, there's an issue with lag in other stadiums when you're not playing home. And I pressed the button, you know, to throw it to my tight end way before that guy intercepted it. But there's like a little lag when you're away. Some people have said that situation is solved with the PS4 Pro. Other people have said it hasn't. So I haven't even delved into that situation yet. Now look, just take a look right here. This animation right here, where you lose complete control of your wide receiver and he tries to defend the cornerback, that animation should be removed from competitive mode, because you shouldn't allow the computer to have that much input in competitive mode. It doesn't make sense for it to be a competitive mode if you can lose control of your player at any time. User should be key. That's what it should all be about, user. That's what it should be. And when I'm speaking about user, like right here, I lurk this. I'm pressing Y or on PS4 triangle at that time when the ball is thrown and it's still bad time and user pick. Right here, I have him beat, but he's still there. That's Talib. That doesn't make any sense. In previous Maddens prior to 16, the threshold was correct for speed. I don't know exactly what the threshold is now, but that's something that should be looked at, because even the highest speed Randy Moss on a streak can't burn a cornerback that's like 5 to 10 speed points lower than him, just because he's in zone. It doesn't matter that he's in zone. When he gets the step, like right here, take a look at what's going on. You see that step right there? That's what's supposed to happen, but he shouldn't be that close regardless, because it's play action. I'm out in front. He shouldn't be able to do that. And to more, or you know, emphasize it, we're going to look at this and check out what was going on, because I had to do this and figure out, what is this guy doing? So he's an 87 speed with a 91 acceleration. So theoretically speaking, I'm going to show you Demaryius Thomas. When I get a step, in football, when you get a step, that step is very, very critical. It is not displayed properly with Demaryius Thomas with a 90 speed and 91 excel. It's not displayed properly in Madden 18. And if that's something that you're looking to do for competitive mode, it should matter. Like, you shouldn't be able to press a corner that's that slow and he stays with them. That shouldn't be something that happens, because we all know that it wouldn't really happen. And again, a lot of the things that has to do with the speed threshold is very, very disappointing, because people within the MUT community that spend money on packs and stuff like that, they're looking to get their team to the best available situation. Now, for instance, people are going to say, yeah, but they're in zone. Most of the guys, including Clint Oldenburg, I believe his name is, they've had some football experience. Rex Dixon has had football experience, you know, with real football. They know that when you get a step in the game of football, college, you know, little league, well, not little league, but you know what I'm saying? It's no matter what the level is, you are going to be able to go and, you know, you're going to be ahead of the person. Now, the catch doesn't always have to be made. Right here, I already knew I was going to fumble. Even though LaDainian Tomlinson has a 94 carry, he fumbles more than any other running back in the game. And then it says safety for some reason, but he gets the ball to 20. There's those bugs and stuff like that, that's going to happen. That's not the overall concern. But the speed threshold within the game is something that needs to be addressed. The animations where your guy is fighting off a defender and he loses complete control, those things should be addressed. Making certain attributes really matter. They should be addressed because the EA Sports development crew is very, very active within the community, and that's why I urge my viewers to be respectable when you address them on Twitter. We don't want to go into Twitter rants and be disrespectful. These men and women are human beings just like we are, and they will block you. They will do certain things if you are disrespectful, and I totally agree with that. And that's why I'm going to choose to create some videos within the content to kind of show, look, these are the things that we're having issues with. And no, we don't have to be competitive players to make the game better. We're just pointing out things that possibly could help to make Madden 19 a better game. And overall for everybody, if you keep all the modes going, everyone can have a mode that they can play and enjoy. I want to thank you guys at Madden headquarters in Orlando for watching this video if you did, and all my viewers at GmiasWorld. Until next time, one love.